Hi, it's Laura Clapton here from Consular Mediation, and today I am going to talk to you about an important issue of how we can respect children within the family mediation process. I've actually put a full blog on our website, and I will pop a link in the comment section, and this is really just a shortened version of that for those who prefer to listen rather than to read. So the reason I wanted to do a blog about how children can be respected in the mediation process is because I am receiving a number of referrals, inquiries about child inclusive mediation, and in some cases that's absolutely what is needed, what's appropriate, but in others the parents have yet to at this point consider what other options might be available to ensure that a child's voice is heard. And child inclusive mediation is not always necessarily the first step or indeed the most appropriate. So I thought I'd just share with you some of those other options that are available to the parents when they're discussing children within mediation. So one of the really important points when looking at ensuring that children are respected is to ensure that ultimately the mediation is very much child focused, child centred, and so the mediator will reality test with the parents what the impact of any proposals or options are on the children themselves. So it's really important in order to respect children that when parents are putting forward options and proposals, they're doing so by putting the children's needs first before their own, and also focusing on the children's welfare both physically and emotionally, and as I say, reality testing any arrangements that are made in terms of, right, well, how does that actually impact upon the children? So ensuring that this is about the children and what's right for them, and not, what's right for the parents. A second way in which children's voices can be heard and they can be respected is by the parents actually speaking to them directly, and it is really important that there is healthy communication between not just parents and parents, but parents and children as well, and particularly when the family are going through a separation or a divorce. It's important that children are communicated with. Research shows that one of the biggest criticisms that children have about their parents when going through a family breakdown is that they weren't involved or weren't listened to. Now obviously involving children in those discussions needs to be sensitive, child appropriate, and the children must not in any circumstances feel like they're being put in the middle, but it is important that their feelings are listened to and they feel that they can communicate those feelings to their parents. However, that's not always possible or most appropriate, and in some cases it may be necessary to involve a professional, and that may take the form of a counsellor or a family therapist, or obtaining further support from the school. And this may be relevant in circumstances where at that point in time, for whatever reason, the children don't feel able to communicate their feelings, their views directly with the parents, and therefore working with a professional will help them to explore those feelings and in many cases help them to communicate those feelings to their parents directly in the future. And so it may well be that, yes, the children do need to speak to somebody in order to be able to explore their feelings, but not necessarily family mediator might not be the first point of contact, and actually it may well be that a therapist is more appropriate depending upon the circumstances, and that may well then lead to not just therapy with the child but therapy with the family as a whole. So it is really important to, when discussing the children in mediation, to look at if there is going to be professional involvement, who is the most appropriate professional to engage with. The next option is child inclusive mediation, which I mentioned at the start, and that's where the mediator talks to the children or the child, and it enables the child to speak in private with the mediator, to communicate their thoughts, their feelings, share any ideas that they may have, and then decide with the mediator what, if anything, is then relayed to the parents. and this can be really insightful for the parents to understand what the child's views are, again without them feeling like they're making a decision or being put in the middle, but able to speak to somebody completely neutral about those feelings, and knowing that that person will then share exactly in the way that they wish those thoughts and feelings to their parents. Guidance says that children should really be aged 10 and above before they embark in child inclusive mediation, but I have, as a mediator, spoken to younger children, and it all depends on their level of maturity and understanding, and ultimately whether the parents, the mediator and the child themselves all think that that would be a good idea. Finally, it's important to think about what resources are out there for children, again so that they feel involved, so that they feel understood, and so that they can actually understand what it is that's happening. And so there are a number of resources out there. I'll just name a few. There is a fantastic website called Voices in the Middle, and that's run by young people, and it's really there to offer a place for children to share their stories, listen to other people's stories, and again tap into other resources that are available to them. There is also a book out there called Divorce Journal for Kids, written by Sue Atkins, and that is an activity book for children, and again helps them to explore their feelings and really open up about how they're feeling, and ultimately empowers them to be able to share those feelings. There is the National Youth Advocacy Youth Service. Again, they're there run for children who are going through family breakdown, and again it's all about ensuring they have a voice and feel empowered. There's the Childline, which is a helpline specifically designed for children. And there are also some useful resources on the CAFCAS website. There are some leaflets on there specifically for children, both younger and older. So within mediation, that's something that we might explore as well, looking at resources. And so just back to the initial question, how can children be respected in mediation? The key theme is about communication, and about them feeling involved and feeling listened to. And as I say, how we can do that is reality testing the proposals, speaking to them directly as parents, engaging with a professional, involving them in the mediation, and sharing with them the resources that are available. So that's just a very short summary of the blog. As I say, there's a link in the comment section. If you've got any questions about the topics that I've mentioned today, or would like to know more about child inclusive mediation, you can drop me an email, laura@concilialegal.co.uk, or you can give me a call on 0113 322 922. Thank you.